Welcome back. Aurelius and Malik, the Treaty Archive. We close the Treaty of Berlin, 1878. File today. 5 parts. The end of the story. Decades after the diplomats departed Berlin, the map they drew still haunts Europe. The Treaty of Berlin was hailed as a triumph of statesmanship, a deft solution to the so-called Eastern question. Yet its legacy is marked by fleeting peace and lingering scars. It's a testament to the dangers of power balancing at the expense of people's aspirations.
Aurelius, that triumph you're so proud of, it's really just a facade. Those in power who struck that treaty turned a blind eye to the voices of the Balkan peoples. What you see as a clever solution was nothing more than a masterclass in exclusion. Sure, the diplomats toasted their success, but at what cost? Who truly emerged victorious in all this? And who's left to bear the burden of their decisions?
The judgment of history on the Treaty of Berlin is mixed and often harsh. The Congress was a masterclass in realpolitik. Bismarck, Disraeli, Andrassy, Gorchakov, each one maneuvering for their nation's interests. They achieved their immediate goal of checking Russian ambitions. But we must ask ourselves, at what cost? The very peoples affected were disregarded entirely, their voices drowned out in the cacophony of power plays. This is the reality of diplomacy, where the stakes are high and humanity is often an afterthought.
That cost was immense. The aspirations of local peoples were drowned in imperial convenience, leaving them to bear the weight of decisions made far away. Borders were drawn without any thought for the rich tapestry of ethnic complexities, tearing communities apart. And those treaty provisions for minority rights? They felt more like empty promises than anything enforceable. It wasn't just a matter of diplomacy. It was a betrayal of the very people they claimed to protect, leaving wounds that lingered long after the ink dried.
Yet, the strategic consequences of the Treaty of Berlin were far-reaching. By frustrating Russian ambitions, the treaty didn't just create tension. It sowed the seeds of new alliances across Europe. Russia, feeling humiliated and isolated, turned toward France for support. This shift would not only alter their relationship, but also reshape the entire diplomatic landscape in the years leading up to the First World War. We can see how fragile alliances can be when nations feel cornered.
Aurelius, those alliances came at a significant cost. Austria-Hungary's grip tightened in Bosnia and Herzegovina, sparking deep-rooted rivalries with Serbia and others. The treaty didn't just fail to stabilize the region. It turned it into a powder keg ready to explode. What was meant to bring peace ended up setting the stage for more violence and intrigue, affecting countless lives and creating a whirlwind of uncertainty for ordinary people caught in the middle.
True. The peace delivered by the Treaty of Berlin was merely an interlude. The balance it sought to preserve masked long-term instability. The Balkans remained a patchwork of new states and old grievances. Nationalist movements flourished, often fueled by the very order imposed by the great powers. We can see how fragile that peace was. As tensions simmered, old wounds were reopened, showing us that stability in such a complex region is often just a facade waiting to crack.
And those unresolved tensions were really the seeds of future conflict. Just look at the Balkan Wars, or the tragic assassination in Sarajevo. They both trace their roots back to decisions made in Berlin. The treaty's legacy serves as a constant reminder of how fragile imposed peace can be. You can't just erase deep currents of identity and memory with a signature on paper. People's lives were forever altered by those choices, and the echoes of history still resonate today.
As historians reflect on the Treaty of Berlin, we see it as both a diplomatic achievement and a missed opportunity. It successfully averted immediate war among the great powers, which is no small feat. However, it ultimately failed to address the deep-rooted aspirations of the peoples in the Balkans. This oversight raises a critical question about the efficacy of diplomatic solutions. Can we truly call it a success when the underlying tensions remained unresolved? It seems that, in many ways, we just delayed the inevitable.
Exactly, Aurelius. The lessons from the treaty are truly sobering. When great powers choose to prioritize their own interests over the real aspirations of people, peace becomes fragile, almost like a mirage. The hopes for national self-determination, security and dignity were pushed aside, forgotten. What we see isn't just a piece of paper. It's the start of a cycle of conflict that will echo through the century, affecting countless lives along the way.
In the end, the judgment of history is clear. Peace imposed from above is never truly secure. Just look at the Treaty of Berlin. It stands as a stark testament to that fact. The consequences of its shortcomings echo through time, reminding us how fragile such arrangements can be. We often forget that the stability we crave isn't built on decrees but on genuine understanding. History teaches us that without that, we're just setting the stage for future conflicts.
And that closes the Treaty of Berlin, 1878. File. 5 parts. One complete story. The full series lives on the Treaty Archive, part of the Archive Network. There's no shortage of files. Browse what pulls at you next.